XRP is definitely moving. I'm gonna see if this works. We're having a lot of issues here on YouTube for some reason. It's not the first time, so it's one of those things. It happens. It happens, I suppose. But we'll see if this even goes on. If it looks right. If this even goes on. If it looks right. If this even goes on. If it looks right. But I have zero expectations that this is going to be the way it's supposed to be. So, is it vertical or is it horizontal? I'm almost afraid to ask. Because what yeah, it's been having issues. So you gotta, because they're trying to do vertical. And look, it's been having issues. So you gotta. I did better today too. I didn't let it get to me. I actually stayed calm. I think Julie's surprised because I usually react worse. Um, but I kind of just did my thing and I didn't get mad. But all right, let's get into this. XRP is up 18% today. We're sitting at almost $3.15, but I've grown a little bit. You guys, so I just need to be like this, you know? So I appreciate all the due diligence coming back. I want to thank everybody for being part of this audience. We are in unprecedented levels for us. But I mean, to see XRP at $3.15, and I have so much stuff to talk about this evening that it's not even just the charts, but this catches you a little bit off guard, you know, seeing $3.15 now. Like, oh my goodness. And like, the beauty of it is that at least we're not caught off guard because we understand the technicals. But just because I anticipate something doesn't mean it doesn't blow me away when it happens. Like, it's just that it's the ferocity or the veracity. It's just the testicular fortitude XRP showing in light of what we've seen earlier. And this gets to point one that I want to talk about. The SEC won't postpone Ripple lawsuit appeal until after Gensler's departure. That's something we know. Ripple says it's a big waste of taxpayers' money, as we know. But there's also a few other things. Like, I had an update, but I wanted to talk more about this in the live as well. And we'll get into this after. But the fact that Stuart Alderodi, which is Ripple's lawyer, is said, I'll go over this because we've got so much stuff to talk about. The charts are just going insane right now, though. It's just going into... If I said we were printing money right now, it would be the underestimate of that's like the understatement of the century. Like, this is what I was talking about a while ago, and for anybody who's still here, oh man, it's going to be a beautiful thing because now it might be 18% from somebody who just bought it before this move today. That's a 50-cent move right now it's made. If you bought it with me at 34 cents or 35 cents, this move right now is the equivalent of about 140% move. So if you bought it for $3,500, you just moved, you know, X amount of dollars, and 49 cents is like $4,900 move right here on 10,000 tokens. This is like a $5,000 move now today alone. And that's what I was trying to express when it was cheap. And look, is Bitcoin doing much? Not really. But there's another one that we talked about in here that's doing very well today. Just the other day, and it's not, we talk about all of these. IOTA's doing well, but ALGO is up 20% today, basically. XDC's ripping it. It's up 24%. HBAR's up 11%. ZIL, VChain are doing fine. DGB's doing fine. XLM's up, what is that now? 14.6%. So, and now all of a sudden we see with Ethereum, it's starting to push up into that region where it has to come up to this resistance now. But we have this built in, so we know where it's going. So it's got a lot of room for the market to run still. That's almost 3,700, even if it got rejected. That's like another 5% move from here. Bought at 48 cents with 500,000 total. Didn't sell any yet. Might need you, Tom. Oh, baby. Rick. Oh, wow. Well, I can tell you right now, I mean, at some point, you're going to have to pay yourself back. The only thing I would tell you to do with that large amount is when we hit, you have to decide, but the next target's around 341. Just pay yourself back. That's all I'm asking you. Keep 400,000 of them. I don't care, but pay yourself back. So the whole goal is to make sure you have your money back in your pocket at some point. It's rule number one of investing. Don't forget to pay yourself back. Yeah, no, Nick, I had to start this live 7 times. And I'm not exaggerating. I just came in with no emotion, even though it was kind of frustrating. But I had to restart this 7 times because it kept going in on vertical. It's because YouTube is pushing vertical because they're trying to compete with TikTok in that regard. But what they're not realizing is, like, for people like me who put it in horizontal for a reason and actually bought a good tablet just to be able to do what I want to do in horizontal, that I don't want to go in vertical. If I wanted to do vertical, I'd be on my phone. But yeah, anyhow. So that just kind of meshes right now. So we've got to fight it. You know, we're fighting it a little bit. So I'm going to get this out of the way just so it doesn't block us. I'm going to get these out of the way. I just want us to see the clear path right now. So that yellow line that's uptrending resistance, that's the cycle uptrend. So technically we could, and we've talked about it, we could come up here and get rejected. But right now we've cleared a very important level right now. And we've cleared it with some steam now. And that was the cycle resistance that we had about $2.91. But we're surging. We are surging. There is no doubt about it. And it's funny because in my title yesterday, when it was at like 260 something for the live, I said, this is the most bullish I've ever seen XRP. And it was for a reason. But I believe we got the green light, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we're going to go over this. I believe we got the green light. Yeah, and if any of you want to join Tom's Army, as I seen somebody just join, please don't hesitate. I think sometimes is a good time, but who knows? We're going to get a significant, some kind of a, you know, this is a very fast push up. So, you know, man, oh man, something's going to have to slow down at some point. But it's just spectacular. The Cannabis Podcast, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. And that's the month 1 emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. So I know you just joined. The Cannabis Podcast. Do you do a podcast here on YouTube out of curiosity? Because I'm a very big proponent of cannabis. It is going berserk. But all great berserks, you know. But the good news is we haven't filled our technical target here yet. Tanya, welcome in, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. I'm not going to be able to say hi to everybody. It's impossible. Syrian, one of my very trusted mods, and a very special member of Tom's Army. I really appreciate you being in here. But here, let me share something. Thank you, Mark, and everybody. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all the members of Tom's Army. Like, this is everything more than I could have ever dreamed of what we do here. Because I had something that I wanted to do, and I didn't care how big my channel got. I stuck with my model of being free, not doing any paid stuff, and just keeping the eye on the prize. So hear me out real quick before we do the intro, so I don't have to pull your leg here. So we have this, right? So I don't know what that is. We have Temu, apparently. But no, let me just get Stuart Alderodi here. So we have, so first thing we take out of this, and we're not going to go into all the semantics, as some people have pointed out, there's a bull on the clock. There's a lot of different things, like just the candles and all this stuff, and the way, and then we can go into the analogies and the riddles and all that. The only thing I want to point out is that you have Trump, who is the incumbent U.S. president. You have Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO. And then you have Stuart Alderodi, who is the legal chief officer, so they're legal counsel. So why would you have all 3 of them dining? Not the tech people, but your actual lawyer. Well, and then after, it never made sense when he said, Stuart Alderodi said, and to top it off, the beef bourguignon Bourguignon was really good. And like for a few days of like, I never even really, I don't know. And then reading, going across stuff. And then it said something. And so I actually looked it up and it said in the late 19th century, beef bourguignon was a symbol of a successful business deal in Lyon, France. The dish was served after negotiations were finalized over a bottle of red wine. The symbolism of this is the rich and hearty dish represented the patience and effort that went into the negotiations. In the business culture, the tradition became so ingrained that seeing beef bourguignon on the table was like seeing a signed contract. So they Ripple, in my opinion, made a deal with the U.S. government, in particular Trump. So for these next 4 years, it's just something big. And the reason why I say that, I think that's concrete evidence. The fact their lawyer was at the table and their lawyer is the one who said it. You can go through his whole history. He never talks about the dinner. So it's just kind of 4D chess here and trying to break through the riddle. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. It's just one of those things that when I seen it, I just, you know, sometimes it just all comes together and you just kind of see it. So I wanted to share that with that. I wanted to share that. Mr. Pesci, thank you so much for re-upping in Tom's Army for more than 2 months now with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the cannabis podcast that I promise I join with my next paycheck and I hold true to my word, pump it up. Oh, I really appreciate that. I do remember you saying that too. It's unbelievable. Tanya says, Tom, that's amazing. Your brain is working overtime. It does. And the reason it works overtime is because I live this every single day. But I see like, is it just me or is Bitcoin frozen in time? It's been, I don't remember the last time I seen a Bitcoin price freeze like that. Am I crazy? It hasn't moved since we started this live. Is it the exchange? What's going on here? Or is Bitcoin actually locked up right now? Seems to me like it's just stuck. Man. But then it's like, it's not just, oh, okay, it moved a little bit, but it's been like frozen in time almost, it felt like for a second. But let me do, I just got to do this intro, and we're going to try to stay on track the best we can, but how do we stay on track with this? It's unbelievable. Good evening. 6:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XM and Future Digibyte OG. And I reside in the great state of Michigan. So man, oh man, we're going to look at Digibyte, we're going to look at XLM, we're going to look at ALGO, we're going to look at HBAR, we're going to look at IOTX because I believe it's creating a huge pattern. So basically, if you can't buy IOTA, you can implement it with IOTX, and I have shown many reasons why, many reasons. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't own IOTA, but if you're in my positioning, and maybe it's not where you need it, it just, there's so much stuff. Well, we can take a look at AMP too, for sure. For sure. Richard, thank you so much for the $2 donations. A good man, Tom. Hope you still have that. Kava, congrats. Not as many as I want. That's just in the storage cellar. I always forget about that one. That's on the other exchange. That's the only one that I have on, one that I don't use very often. Just not very, I wasn't happy with the way they did the copy trading, and nothing personal to them, but I just, yeah. It's still in, it's still up there for people to use, but it's the one on the bottom of my thing. But anyhow, XRP here. What can we say about this? $3.15, up 18% on the day. The next big area, I mean, we are creating a rather large potential here for a pullback because we didn't come back and touch this. I should have kept this up here. Juan, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Says no such thing as coincidence, Tom. All good things come to those who wait. I totally agree with that. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for several months here as well. Love it. Love it. We're having a, it's hard to put into words sometimes because we've been talking about this move for a while, but when it happens, isn't it hard to describe it? it's just like, it's like you can hear it and see it and you can plan for something, but until you see it in real time, you don't quite know how it's going to hit you. And I knew this was coming. I think we all knew this was coming, especially when it broke and back tested the pennant flag. It was a reality. And that 78% was the likelihood it was going to break out of the pennant. And it broke out every bit of it. Joshy Sauce, thank you for the $4.99 donation. He says, this is what we've been waiting for. T-Speaker 222 is what I didn't see what he said. I got to take these. I'm sorry, guys, but I got to take these steel toe boots off. My feet are, he says, T-Speaker 222 is the GOAT. Yeah, I see that. What's going on? Oh, it's my delivery, Julie. T's cars, probably. Is he shaking his head? No. Okay, that might be his cars. Which would be awesome. Is it, Julie? Perfect. Yeah. All right. Here, let me see. My audience will be glad to wait for a second. I'll get to see his cards. Ooh. These ones. It's positive reinforcement because he got back on track in a good way today. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh, my feet feel so much better now. Nick, thank you so much for the $1.99 donation. Thank you. I will definitely look at XDC. So let's start going around here for a second. So we know what we're seeing with XRP. So let's let this settle in for a sec. But we do have that gap that I'm not saying we're gonna hit, but it still was untapped at 260. Nick knows what I'm talking about, and like he said, the larger the gap, the wider the drop, or the potential. What am I looking for? Oh, you got it. And we're gonna relax. Julie wants to relax, so if you guys want to relax, we can relax. But it's fine, Julie. So we got that gap at $2.60. And then we've got the breakout point that was right about $2 and we'll say $2.90, right around $2.91. So those are going to be our layers of support right now that we're going to hold until we can see some kind of pattern form here, or until we get to $3.41. If we just shoot right to 341, which is possible, that's the technical breakup target. Which I could still see it hitting up here and trying to hit that resistance point. And if we can get back on top of that, oh my goodness. If we ever get back on top of that uptrending resistance, it's going to be crazy. But I want to go over a couple of these because I know we're going to get caught up with XRP. I know it. And we have the daily close in 30 minutes. But I'm going to go over the ones I want. So no matter how many suggestions there are, I've got to stay on the same ones because there's so many of them. So HBAR, breaking out of this formation finally, and its first big move out of this. Once it can complete this consolidation, it may back test it. So who knows? Maybe a market wide drop, but we're not necessarily seeing the evidence of that market wide right now. So we'll see. It could come right up to 38 cents, but the first short target out of this breakout is 43 cents, and the total target here is about 62.9 cents. Well, not the total target, but that's if you measure the actual pull where we broke out. But if you measure it from the breakout of the actual flag from the top resistance, it technically tells us we have a top potential here of 73 cents if this plays true. So that's incredibly high from here. That's incredibly high. And for anybody who's been around for a while, we bought HBAR around 4.5 cents. I put it at 4.7 here. If it goes all the way up to here, that's a 1,400% return. Right here, it's 1,200. Right here, it's 840, 730. You guys get the picture. It's already at almost 600. That's not even our biggest mover. My biggest mover is still XRP Healthcare. Marco Tremley, thank you so much for not only being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. And I can prove it because Julie got a picture too. See? That's me. See being abducted? See that? Whatever the hell that thing is being abducted. And that is my face on there. See? So, it's a true story.
I also have the coffee cup.
And then she's got the coffee cup.
But the coffee cup's the original.
Yeah, that's the original. There you go, Julie. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It does. It does. Alien OG is a great strand. I agree. I haven't had that in a while, though. My favorite strands are the ones that have Northern Lights in it, if you can ever find it. But it's very hard to find it. I found 2 recently, and now it's not available anymore. Very disappointed. So that's HBAR. Let's continue on. We'll get a lot of them, but somebody did send a donation. I'll look at XDC as it's up 24.7%. This is one of our big babies right here. Big bears for us. Talked about it forever. We've wanted it forever. We've held. It's just part of the 3X's, but it goes beyond that. I have a strategic plan with most of the stuff. All the stuff I hold. 386 people are in here. Really? 399 people in here. Yeah, please hit that like button like some are saying in the audience. Only 125 have. If you all hit the like button, we could certainly make a dent and we could pass this around and start to expand the audience even bigger. I would love it. So, anyhow, for XDC, our next big target is 15.4 cents. I used to have a flag drawn out, but I deleted it. And then I said I didn't want to get too far ahead for everybody, but, at this point, if it breaks up to the top side, look what happens if you pull this pattern out farther. Like if we fill out this, it's either going to be here. I can actually lower it. I would actually feel better about it right probably here. But it's either going to fill that out or it's going to come eventually all the way to the top. But then when you look at it from a farther perspective, we can only speculate how quickly it can come out of this. But I'm looking at this from this pattern. Like this is one big inverse head and shoulders. And I know I could go to different charts, but I like this one because it shows me from where it's starting, that inverse head and shoulders. So I don't have to look deeper. And it looks like overall it's playing out. And if it does, this could send this thing. If it's playing from up here, the depth is going to be different from right here. So I'm waiting to let this play out and materialize. So I'm going to let it go by level, but I suppose it could shoot right through to 19. But this could be massive. It's not could. This will eventually be massive. You're not going to get 10,000 tokens for, $800 forever, or $300 forever. Now it's up to what is it? For 10,000 tokens right now, it's 1,360 now. Yeah, I know. I don't know how the Asian markets are going to react. They're going to wake up to some significant profit, like ridiculous profit.
Monthly high from Shanghai.
Oh, really? Who was it? Greg from Shanghai. I didn't see it. Welcome in. Your markets are the ones that are intriguing me because I don't know how you guys and gals are going to react over there because you're going to wake up to a big move. Just a big move. Yeah, we're getting up there towards one of the bigger lives. I think the most we ever had was 5 in the low 5s. Wasn't it, Julie? Low 5s? Yeah. So, but I don't anticipate that. I'm just anyhow, let's keep moving on here while because we see XDC, we see HBAR. I want to get back down here towards ZIL and VeChain, but I got to switch gears after I get into XLM and DGB because I want to let this play out a little bit for XRP because we don't know yet if it's going to try to pull back here to the fair value gap or if we can build some kind of consolidation here. And I don't want to hone in on it for too long, but we will in a second. But we cover a lot of things here besides XRP, and everything I cover I own. So I've kept it like that now. I don't have anything on my charts to show you that I don't own except for Bitcoin and Ethereum because I don't own either of them. I think they're yesterday's old news. And Doge is in Julie's wallet, but obviously Julie and me, that's our portfolios. As much as mine is hers, as much hers as mine. What did I send it to you at 9 cents? When I finally could send you it, was around 9 cents. Yeah.
We share.
That's crazy. Because when I bought it back, it was 5 cents. And at the time I had bought it at the same time XRP was around 34 cents. And now she has it, and it's at, I don't even know, what is Doge at right now?
I couldn't tell.
38.5 cents again, Julie. Holy moly. Yeah, so she's held it for a 5.
Moving on.
Yeah, she's like 7, 8x, 9x. Holy moly. Anyhow, so I share everything that I own. DGB is one of my babies. For anybody who doesn't know, I own 1 million DGB. It's so weird to say it, Julie. I own 1 million DGB, so if it ever got to $1, DGB would make me a millionaire, Julie. Just on itself. And it's my baby. I'm going to go to the grave with it. If it sinks, I'll take it to the grave. Not my grave, DGB's grave. Because I believe so strongly in it. And I didn't buy it way up here. I was buying it way down. You guys all know the story who was here. So now we're watching this slowly trickle up. And now we're getting somewhere. It looks like this inverse pattern is playing out. Eventually, I anticipate this to break out. Sooner rather than later, I expect to see a 40 to 60% day. I expect to see a 40 to 60% day out of DGB. I do. It moves fast when it moves. And it's been coiling up for some time here. Every single time frame, and if you've noticed, I don't have the RSI on here anymore. I don't want to be influenced by the relative strength index because the only thing I ever want to see is I only want to see the EMA lines. I like the 20, 50, 100, 200 so that I can see from 20 days to 200 days out what the technical trader is thinking and what the actual market understanding is. And remember, that's a lagging indicator. So by the time it reverses a death cross or a golden cross or makes a bullish cross or a bearish cross, it's already going to be too late because it's already going to do the next consolidation back to the other side, even if it's going to continue. So right when it's just a crazy thing. So I like to just use it for the technical trader to see what they're thinking. And then I don't like to use much indicators. I like the volume and that's it. That's why you don't see a bunch of indicators. Even the RSI, I didn't like using it. I'd rather just use what we can see, what we can understand ourselves. So if this breaks out for DGB, and then we got to keep moving on. XLM is the next one, and I freaking love XLM. I often think that it's going to be an even bigger mover because of how cheap it was than XRP. But that remains to be seen. And we'll see. So right now, if DGB broke out of this pattern right about where I put it, if it played true from where it's at right now, yeah, that's a 88% move. That's the technical. And look how it's set up right now. Inverse head and shoulders. I think we're nailing this setup. I really do. I think this setup, we're nailing it to the wall. And I think if you're listening about some of these and you were buying, I'm not saying to buy. I'm not a financial advisor. So if you're new, I am not a financial advisor. And I don't even want to be a financial advisor because I don't feel like giving the FANG stocks to everybody. Ooh, let's buy Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Google. Did I already say that? Netflix. So I'm not telling you to buy or sell, but I am trying to show you the charts, and I'm just telling you what I do. Historical data, so nobody can say, Tom, why didn't you help people along the way? Oh, I have. I haven't missed a day in 4 years. So I've been helping to exhaustion. Not even exhaustion, because I like doing this. I actually like doing this. It's invigorating. First thing I do when I wake up after I take a shower is I do my update, and I try to rush my son to school with Julie. So, and then I go to the gym, and I just...
We're the home alone parents.
We kind of are the home alone parents.
Except we don't leave them at home.
Mm-hmm. And we don't forget our kids.
No.
But
We're just...
But yeah, the one of the other pieces of news real quick, the SEC, well, I guess I'll read through this and then we'll continue on the charts. SEC won't postpone Ripple lawsuit appeal until after Gensler's departure. Here, Julie. Hard to say, investors in Ripple linked XRP care about they don't even care about the news really. It's up 16%. But party leaders and leadership in the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) is expected to change on January 20th, but that won't change the regulators' plans to move forward with its enforcement cases. Ripple Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderley tweeted on January 14th that the SEC has refused to postpone the hearing on its appeal to a favorable sentence. Despite the so we're still waiting though. We're waiting to hear exactly what they're going to say. But listen, guys, We don't even need to acknowledge that. You know why? The SEC appeal, it's not about XRP being a security. That's what they're trying to trick us in the media, folks. That's why you see how it has no impact on the price. I'm telling you right now, the institutional investors already got the clearing, and they're using this as a wool to be pulled over all of the uneducated and unknowledgeable ones. But we're not unknowledgeable here, okay? We're not unknowledgeable. So listen, even if they appeal, who cares? They're appealing how much the fine is. The SEC cannot have it reversed that XRP is a security. It can't happen. There's an amendment written in. It cannot be changed. The only thing that can change is they can make the fine bigger against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson and the Ripple and all that. Big deal. Big deal. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why, even though they're not wanting to do it, but I can't tell you anything more because I can't see any more news. That's all I know is the fact that they're refusing to do that, unless there's been something since I've been on, and somebody would let me know, I'm sure. But I know they had to file something today. They definitely did. But Stuart Elder already wrote yesterday, so he obviously knows something. But I don't know, guys. That looks like a big flag that formed on XRP, even on this push up. So it's going to be interesting. So we did DGB, and now it's up 7% right now. But I'm telling you, DGB, when it does what it does, it just does it. It doesn't wait, but look at that massive setup. Am I crazy? Before I leave this chart, please let me know. Am I crazy when it comes to this because I love DGB, or do you guys see that massive inverse head and shoulders? Almost looks like an octopus. That's about as bullish as I've ever seen the DGB chart, and it's at these levels. I'm crazy? Well, that's okay. You got to be a little crazy to have wisdom because you have to go against the grain. But not about the chart. You son of a bitch. No. That's true. We're all a little crazy. Gotta be crazy. You're welcome, Mike. I love that you love the show. And Nick says, Tom, we are all crazy. Remember, crypto is a scam. I know. Remember what the government told us? Only the cartel and the organized gangsters trade crypto. And what did we say? That's all bullshit. This whole lawsuit's a scam. And they just don't want us to own it until it gets too expensive. Well, we hate to say to be the ones we told you so, because we won't do that, but we kind of did. We don't have to say anything. But the target here, guys, and this is beautiful for ALGO. If the person from 2 days ago who asked us at 35 cents if they should buy or if it was too late, and I went on a spew about even if it dropped 6% to the uptrend, it's fine. It looks like an inverse head and shoulders. But if you missed XRP 10,000 tokens at 35 cents, and now you miss ALGO at 35 cents, regardless of what it does going forward, just think about it. ALGO's been at $3 plus. And ALGO's an ISO token. Big time. It's got huge plans. And that's my argument to Ethereum. I'm not going to own Ethereum if I can buy ALGO. And I'm sure as hell not going to buy ADA if ALGO's this cheap. Like, why would I own ADA if I can own ALGO? And then people are like, well, you can own them all. Yeah, but in this case, for me, the direct competitor to ALGO is ADA and Ethereum. And I think it washes them both. And it's cheaper than both of them. So that's my... The what? No, it didn't. Oh, it might have had a wick. Okay. Well, that sucks. Oh, no. Yours. See, I found one for XRP Healthcare that it stays without all that volatility. This is the most it actually reached. But look at this. I didn't even realize this, but we're up to 23 cents. We bought this at 2 cents. I often proclaimed this was going to be my biggest hitter. Oh, baby. And this time it's different because we've cleared out all of those gaps. It's so different this time. This is so different. Oh my God, this is so crazy. I'm telling you right now, if this thing actually breaks out and it gets out of that 48 cents, this one could be our rocket ship to the... I got a question for anybody. I know some of you hold every single token I hold. So for the ones who hold every single token and you were buying it the way we did, at some point, when you look at, like, I can't look at my portfolios. I don't want to see how much they're worth. I don't want to, at some point, and now ALGO's up 20%. I got 20,000 of those. And then you see, like, man, oh man. Yeah, and I have 60,000 of XRP healthcare. I wish I would have got more, but they stopped. I couldn't buy it anymore because the only place I could buy it at the time that I knew about went against the USA with Maxi, which sucked. But it gets to a point, even though you know it's coming, it just... Oh, we're going to look at XLM. I'll look at XLM, but I got to finish with ALGO real quick. Up 20.5%. I don't even know if the person said if they were here or not. But we made the point at 35 cents. It was so freaking cheap. And then I went back on the chart and showed how high it's been. I tried to show the inverse head and shoulders that's popping up all across the charts. I don't want to. I mean, here's the deal. If I look at my crypto.com portfolio, that is not connected to XRP, XRP Healthcare, VELO, XDC. What's the other one? I think that's it. So it's that doesn't count those 4 holdings. This would be everything I hold besides those 4. So think about it. That doesn't count XRP. So I don't even know if I want to. But it's gone ballistic. I'm just saying, it has absolutely gone ballistic. So I don't know if I want to, but you know, when I think about that, and then I've got, and then I've got money, you know, sitting there that it's for the fixing up of my house, but I've got everything I've ever wanted and then more. And I instead of buying all these different ones, I got rid of some just so I could have more of the ones I wanted, you know, and I got rid of some just so I could have the budget for what I needed to do outside of crypto. I mean, I don't know, to put it in perspective, and I'm going to flash it one time. One time. That's crypto.com. Probably can't even see it. But that's the only time I'm going to show it. That's just on crypto.com. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how to, I don't want to look at it anymore. Jose, thank you for the $19.99 donation. But it's interesting. You know, and that's after I paid $8,400 on the crypto debit card, you know, and then the market just exploded after, so it doesn't even look like it. Tom's gonna flash. But yeah, but we're not where we're meant to go though. That's why it's so early on, but it's just exploding so much. Yep, that's what I did, CJ. I bought 55,000 and then I got like 5,000 and some odd, whatever happened, it ended up being 60,000 total. I think 5,585 came from staking. Alex. Yep. But, you know, but I'm not, it doesn't bother me to see the up and downs, like, because I really don't pay that close attention to the portfolio in every single day. I see on the charts what needs to happen. It's not going to influence me one way or the other. And because the ones I hold, look where XRP's at. The ones that I hold in the IOT and ISO, XRP's already having its utility run in a sense. It's front running it. I think instead of it, think about it this way. What if for the first time ever, instead of Ethereum bringing in the alt season, XRP is right now? What if XRP's bringing in alt season for the first time and we're having a fundamental shift? Lanham, thank you so much for the 119 knock. I really appreciate that. I vividly, hold on, I gotta get my phone up if I miss this. But I'll look up Gary Gensler. It's all an illusion. Thank you for the $5 donation. That I vividly remember the first time I bought XRP. My daughter was watching Frozen. Cam downstairs. She's watching Frozen. She's 14. Oh my goodness. How time is fast. Look up Gary Gensler, Mr. Burns, Tom. Gary Gensler, Mr. Burns. Oh, I know. Gary Gensler looks exactly like Mr. Burns. In a big sense. I mean, is this something new? I got so much stuff to look at. I don't know. Is there something going around, Mr. But we've talked about how he looks kind of like Mr. Burns. We got to have you on the podcast. The cannabis pod. That's what I was saying. I was wondering if you are you on YouTube? Obviously, YouTube. How stupid do I sound? Hold on. Where's my phone? Because I can click on your comment. Alice, welcome in. I greatly appreciate seeing you here as well, love. I love seeing all of you. I don't know how to explain it. This is something different. Like, it's something different. I've been around enough communities to know, and went away from enough of them to know. Ooh, there we go. Now I found your channel.
Hello, and welcome back to the Cannabis Podcast.
See, that's beautiful. We got a lot of people in here. Look, let's see. Then we're going to go back.
Hello.
Whoops. So, this is his station right here. If anybody's into cannabis, one of our members of Tom's Army. So, that's his station. I just wanted to pull it up real quick. I thought it was pretty cool when I seen it in the background that he had a station. 390 subscribers, so starting to get up there a little bit. So, if you guys want to follow him, a fellow member, you know, we like to show support. So, anyhow, on to the next. XLM right now. I said I would show that. And then I want to show IOTX as well. We'll get back into XRP. But we're trying to grind it into 7 o'clock. And then we can focus squarely on XRP. Explain the title of this video. So XRP, it hit for the first time in 7 years. We hit the $3.09 mark at the time. I didn't know it was going to be up at 318, you know, while I was doing the live. But at the time, we had hit this level. This is the first time we've been in this level for over 7 years, basically. And then the SEC, as of yesterday, we know they've refused to postpone this appeal against Ripple. I mean, they won't do anything until supposedly until after the 20th. But they're supposed to do something today, but we haven't got any news on it. So all we know is that they've refused, you know, delay the appeal against Ripple. So it's a standstill. We don't know yet. We're waiting for further details. But XLM right now, it's breaking out down here. So if we reanalyze just the channel, the short target for XLM is going to be 64 cents. But ultimately, the target is 94 cents. I'm not even going to mess around. The target's 94 cents if this plays true. And a big part of it playing true is to get up and over 64 cents. But I have a strange feeling that this is a massive inverse head and shoulders on XLM if you just look at it properly. And where I put those lines underneath, I think if you look at it properly, right here, left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. I mean, if you look at this and how it played up, if this is true, we're going up to almost $1. Easy. 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 And we bought this at 8.5 cents. Easy. This is easy stuff. The only thing that wasn't easy for me was holding 12 tokens that I did not want because I was listening to people or buying something. So I sold it. And that ended up being a very large amount of, it was a lot. That was a lot. It was a lot. But holding what I envisioned my portfolio to look like all these years ago, and not at these levels, there was no way. I was thinking maybe if I was lucky, 10,000 of this, 10,000 of that. DGB, I said in my wildest dreams, if I can get 100,000 with everything else I need, I'd be happy. I 10 times that. We just did so well in here because I couldn't have never predicted that we kind of tried to predict, but you never know how it's going to play out. But the fact we got in before the bull run in 21, that was right when I started on YouTube. I was advocating when XRP was in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and obviously so on and so forth. But then right after, it was such a quick, steep drop. I advocated to sell out and I lost half my audience. It's just like memory lane is so cool. But we were able to, as a community, get in the bear market, sell in the bull market of 21, stay out until the bear market lows of 23, and now we're experiencing the bull market of 25, 24 into 25. It's incredible. And because we were able to do back-to-back cycles, even though it took 4 years almost to complete this, our portfolios, mine went from 4 to 5 to 6, as you guys see. And I know some of you went from 5 to 7, and some of you went from 3 to 5, and some of you went from 2 to 6 or 2 to 4. So it's been crazy. It's been crazy. So anyhow, for XLM, this is the route we're looking at. This is the route we're looking at. And I really believe that it's broken out here. It's broken out here, and it's showing to me a massive, unless this has a catastrophic collapse, this has a big move. I think it's been suppressed a little bit, and I think it's going to start running a little bit faster than XRP once it starts slowing down here for a second. I think this is going to maybe catch up. Oh, I've been waiting for that appeal by the SEC. That's what I've been waiting for. Okay, finally. Because they had to do it today. Here we go. Ripple, nothing's showing up for me. Not yet. But I'm sure it will. If you guys are starting to see it, I'm sure something's going to pop up. But, you know, we had a nice run up. But remember, the daily close is happening now in a sec. But, all right. Let me finish what I was looking at. How long has it been? 47 minutes already. Holy crap. There is no way it's been 47 minutes. IOTX. And obviously AMP. You guys know my position in AMP. I always forget. But I have it on this side. But IOTX, I think it's very undervalued. It has 9.4 billion tokens right now in circulation. Max supply is only 10 billion. It's an intricate part of the Internet of Things. And it formed a partnership with Jasmy, with the DPIN protocol. So it's something big. It's a big player going forward. And some have argued that it's going to be bigger than IOTA, which I don't know if it will be. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think price-wise, but I think from the price point where it was at and where it's at right now, it could definitely make the argument that something big could be coming. So this is at the bottom here too. So right now, I have a very strange feeling that in the short term, this is going to double up at some point here. And I'm not a financial advisor, so I could be some jackass. Who knows? I could be wrong. I could be seeing this wrong. But I'm willing to sit. Like, this is one of them this is one of them that I like. This is one of them that I understand very well. And it's just one that I put in the red tag section because I don't know why, actually. I don't know why, but I always had it on its own side in the red tag. If you notice, I had a whole bunch of other ones that again, they weren't part of the true vision. And if it's somebody else's vision but not part of my own, I can't just do it. So I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this. And I know it's going to break out of this eventually, but it's still, obviously, you can see it has a lot of room left to run within this pattern. But if we look at this for totality purposes, let's say it runs out somewhere over here finally, right? Let's say it gets out. It might be farther here. Let's put it here. And who knows? Maybe we're going to have to readjust it again. But a breakout from here, when and if it does, I think it's going to. I don't think it's going to break down out of here, but I've been wrong before. I just, from an objective standpoint, I think what I'm saying, this would break out more than likely the breaking down, especially with market circumstances. But who knows? Something bad could come out. Man, that's like a 180% move in time. It's not going to happen in a blink of an eye, but it definitely has a chance. So XRP closed at about $3.14. Yep, just about $3.14.3 roughly. That's beautiful. Robert says, with the help of you, I've been able to tell my mother and grandmother that we have all more than double. Oh my goodness. I need to finish reading that. That is unbelievable. I need to read that. That sounds like something substantial that I need to read. says, I was able to tell my mother and grandmother that we have all more than doubled our money / portfolio. I trusted you and people trust me to pay for it. Holy smokes. That is excellent. That is excellent. Now everybody get ready to hold on to your hats. And Bitcoin had a nice surge there at the end of the day. It got up to 100,500. What a huge close. That's awesome though, Robert. Wow. I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad you did, Tanya, because I only say when I hold it. And I have 340,000, I believe it is. 347,000. But when it came down to the bottom of the I better look at that real quick before I forget. It came down to the bottom. In my opinion, it looks like a descending wedge. And like, I know we can call it a bunch of things, but I think ultimately that this is going to somehow pull up very volatilely, and we're going to be way up here at some point in the short term. But I think it's forming this descending wedge. And like, I've been looking at this, waiting for it to do what it needs to do, just looking. And like, even if it just pops out initially, like that is a volatile pop out. Like it came down so far. And then in totality, man, oh man, this could legitimately work its way back up here. If it actually played through the way this could do, you'd be looking way up there. And I'm not joking. Even if it fails and it has to come up here and form a like kind of a big cup as it rounds, because I think it's going to round. I think it's getting ready to round it here. But you've got some big opportunity, like big in this chart. And if it's ready to reverse now, I mean, what if this is not just like I've been talking about with AMP? What if it's not short term? Like, I don't think I'm going to make this a short term play. I think this time, unlike the last few times how on BITUNIX I've been buying and selling it as I need to, I think this time it's ready to stay. And I'm only going to tell you why right now. And then I won't really talk about it in the future, but you'll know I said it. I think, honestly, what we're working with here is something like that. And that's a massive inverse head and shoulders. And I think now that what I can see looks like a descending wedge, and at least that's the way I look at it. It probably isn't. You can call it whatever you want. And it kind of looks weird to be a wedge, but still, it's in the descending fashion. Descending triangle, how about that? Descending triangle, but it's a bullish consolidation. And I think now it'd be a very big risk to start messing with this. So if this does what it needs to do from here, that's a big, big move. And then in time, if it plays out of there, and see how that's an inverse head and shoulders? But I could argue that this is a handle on a much bigger cup that was formed from here. Right? What if this is a cup? And then you'd have to measure the base of the cup, and yada, yada, yada. So what if this is actually a cup? He went to sleep?
I'm gonna go to school.
He went to sleep?
Yeah.
But he was playing with his cars. But he has school and therapy tomorrow. So I put him to sleep, did I? Aw. Did he like his cars at least? Good. So what if this is a... That sounds good. What if this is actually a cup, handle, and then it's working on it right here. Boom. And then back around to the smaller cup and handle. I mean, at least in the smaller tense, in the smaller sense, I don't know, man. It gives me a lot of... Let's go into the daily. And that's why it's so cool to look at these charts. They're so bullish. I can't think of a time in covering crypto that I had seen it this bullish. I really can't. Even 2021 was bullish, but it wasn't this. Oh my God. Like, I would like to... It really does look like it's building something huge. Maybe it's the cup and handle. Yeah, the cup here. Boom. I'll put it on the white line. Because then you could actually measure this from the depth of this. And it's way up here where it filled. Even in the short term, if that got on top of that, I mean, you're talking about a substantial, and that's the short term. Like, there's some big targets there. So anyhow. Somebody said amp to 4 cents. Yeah, it can, every bit it can get there. That's just a shorter target at 2.4, but it's got a big opportunity. And plus, somebody that I really like owns it too. And we've been talking about it more. And like, it's one that I know I want to hold going forward. So, at least until this big move comes. Because I do think there's going to be a bigger one coming. But here's that pullback. Why we didn't get excited. Why we didn't overfocus. Because we don't know where the setup is. We're trying to figure it out, but we still don't know. We're not out of the danger zone yet, in a sense. But we still haven't finished filling out this $3.41. But yeah. So before I go, I just want to look for that appeal because it's already been almost an hour and I got to do a couple things. Julie's in the shower, but I got to finish a couple things that I'd started before the live. And now it's a little different because my son's asleep, so I don't have to worry about him, but I can get done what I need to get done. So Ripple versus SEC. Where did you guys see the news? Out of curiosity. They had already appealed. All they did before this was they refused to postpone the appeal. Oh, on X. Okay. Perfect. As expected, the SEC's appeal brief is a rehash of already failed arguments and likely to be abandoned by the next administration. Will respond formally in due time. For now, the SEC's lawsuit is just noise. A new era of pro-innovation regulation is coming, and Ripple is thriving. So he's telling you this is just white noise. Pay attention to what he's saying. That's why I went to him first. Just pay attention to what he's saying. And then let's do this. So let's see what these numbnuts have to say here. So United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, United States Securities and Exchange Commission, Plaintiff Appellate Across Appellee, Ripple Labs Inc. Defendants, Bradley Garlinghouse and Christian A. Larson, on appeal from a final order of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, number yada, 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 so on and so forth. And this is from January 15, 2025. It's 109 pages. Oh, my God. But this is page 2. So the Securities Act prohibits the unregistered offer of sale of investment contracts, yada, yada, yada. So they're just sharing it. But this is, they're going to rehash the same old stuff. They're trying to get a bigger, a biggest cut. Yeah, so it's just going to be the same nonsense again. We're going to have to go through the same nonsense. So, case dismissed, the Holy Trinity, so it must be a fudster. But anyhow, so, just look what Stuart Elder already wrote. So get the facts. Ripple fight against the SEC's anti-crypto stance. Nearly 4 years ago, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, filed a politically driven lawsuit against Ripple rather than faithfully applying the law. The SEC lost on all key issues, yet it decided to appeal to the Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Ripple remains committed to defending against the SEC's overreach, both for itself and the entire crypto industry. As the SEC appeal and Ripple's cross-appeal unfolds, it is important to get the facts straight, or right. What is not being appealed, and this is what I was trying to talk about when I started my live, so if you're still here, this is pertinent for you if you don't understand, so don't get nervous. The appeal does not question whether XRP itself is a security. In July 2023, the court ruled that XRP on its own is not an investment contract and therefore not a security. The SEC is not challenging this ruling. The SEC clarified in 2023 that they do not consider XRP a security, and SEC attorneys even acknowledged that arguing a token alone as a crypto asset security was incorrect. XRP now joins Bitcoin and Ethereum in having explicit legal clarity as the non-security. What the SEC is appealing, the SEC appeal focuses on whether Ripple's own sales of XRP on crypto exchanges and other distribution like grants and charitable contributions qualify as investment contracts. The court agrees with Ripple, ruling that these sales and distributions did not require SEC registration. It's the decision that the SEC is appealing. Why Ripple is cross-appealing? Ripple cross-appeal seeks to preserve all its defenses, including that an investment contract requires traditional contractual rights and obligations. Ripple will continue to challenge the SEC's flawed lawsuit, defending not just its own interests, but those of the broader crypto community, the U.S. and globally. So that's the facts, just so you guys know what's actually happening. Yes, I'm not surprised XRP's falling right now. We have a FVG. Yeah, there's one around $3. There's one, I know it was around 3. Yeah, that's fair. Around 302. But the one that for me is more looming is that one at 260. Because it's still there. But right now, if we can hold that $3 range, we don't have to worry about that right now. It doesn't mean it goes away. That area just gets bigger and bigger. But the technical target is still $3.41 roughly. So, that's what we're looking at. But I got to go do some stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much for joining me on this live. This was a beautiful hour. It went by so fast, but I just have stuff to do. Kids have school in the morning, and it's just busy being a dad. One at $2.78 as well. Ooh, good to know. Good to know, Nick. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, no, I'm not. This is just part of the process. I'm not looking to sell it. It's just, I'm just telling you the levels that can happen. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. We'll be back before you.